Hello everyone, happy Women's Day to all the amazing women out there breaking barriers. So today, in honor of this special day, the Barrier Breakers Corner brings you a panel discussion featuring amazing young ladies. And today we're not just here to celebrate ourselves, but we're also here to shed light on some issues that we face on a daily as girls. We're also going to be discussing the progress that have been made and also ways to accelerate, or should I say speed up, at the rate of which changes are being made in line with this year's theme, Accelerating Action. But before we get into that, I would like you to get to know the amazing ladies I'm here with. So we are going to state our names and also what we do. I'll go first. So hi girls.
Hi.
My name is Jainaba Mendy. I am a student at the university and I work at the Woman Boss.
Hi everyone, my name is Doris B.A. Koka and I am a student at the University of the Gambia studying medicine.
So hello everyone, my name is Tida Baro. I am a child rights advocate and I'm also a student in grade 8.
Hi everyone, my name is Khadija Bangra and I'm a student of Nurse Comprehensive.
Hi everyone, my name is Rabi Tijala. I'm a student of Living Children Academy.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruth and I'm a student in the university studying development studies.
Okay, it's so nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to have this conversation that we'll be having. So now that we've gotten that covered, the introduction, we'll be going right into it. So we have two issues that we'll be addressing today. Number one is we're going to be discussing the instances in which women have to stand up for themselves. And the second one is child marriage. I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with these issues because it's very prevalent in our societies, right?
Yeah.
So just to kick off the conversation, right, in what instances do you think women or young ladies need to stand up for themselves?
Okay, so I believe ways in which ladies and young girls can stand up for themselves has to do with in your daily runs. I believe all of us here, we're students, like I said, and sometimes you would go across or come across rather apprentice trying to take advantage of you, or guys in general, or even sometimes your classmates who will try to bully you just because you're always quiet, you're not standing up for yourself. So sometimes you can tend to, stay quiet and be like, let me just hold myself. But sometimes when it gets too much and you feel like you are no longer being heard, that's when you now speak and say what you want to say. I don't know whether you guys are getting what I'm saying. But yes, I believe this is one of the ways in which we can stand up for ourselves daily. Do not allow people to just take advantage of you because they think that, oh, you're small, or because, oh, Khadija's voice is so low, so, she does not talk, so I'll talk to her anyhow, and Khadija will just take advantage of that. But yeah, that's one of the ways.
So I also have something to add on what you just said.
Okay.
So there are many instances in which women have to stand up for themselves because sometimes there's always no other person to speak for you, or sometimes you feel like you are being left out, or you feel like you feel somehow invisible, like people just count you out of many things that they do because they think you are small or you don't have a big voice. And sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes like people can talk to you in any way they want, but like sometimes you also feel like I don't have to reply to every bad thing that someone has to say to me. And also like I don't have to talk about every issue that someone brings up. I don't have to speak when someone tries to abuse me or something like that. But sometimes it is really important to stand up for yourself, and also like when people are taking things too far and you have nobody to speak for you, you need to try and speak for yourselves. So that's what I have.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
I have something to say.
And criticism causing worries and distress. Problem associated with harassment. Harassment might lead the experience feel angry, humiliation, shame, and betrayal.
Nice.
Okay, she just gave us the definition.
I
Don't
know,
play.
Ruth, do you want to say
We're talking
anything?
about ways in which women can stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Another way as well, I feel, as you were saying, sometimes, some people might be in that space that wherein they feel like, okay, I don't want to do this alone, or they don't just have, how we say it, that fit.
Yeah.
So another way we can do this as well is, just creating a support group, maybe in schools or wherever you might find yourselves, wherein women come together and it's just supposed to be like a safe space, you sharing your past experiences and then decide that, okay, we're all going to stand together to achieve so, because once they're in that together, I'm sure they'll be able to achieve whatever they want to or whatever they're fighting for. So it shouldn't always be a thing of, okay, I've reached this point, I can fight alone. If you know that, okay, you're not in that, yes, you're not that fighter, and you know that, okay, people can easily defeat me, especially those that have the mouth, you know, and you know you're that type now. Okay, maybe it's either when you're talking, you easily stammer, or you're that person, you cry easily, and you feel like, okay, you're stronger and bolder when you're in groups. Yeah, I feel like another way is just creating support groups wherein we have a bunch of women, maybe how we're like, they share experiences and decide that, okay, this is this and this is how we want to go about it.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
I'm always like that. I always stand for myself. And I'm a kind of a person that knows that anytime my friend is fighting with somebody, I must take part.
Yeah. Don't play.
Okay, go on.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Did he cut you?
All right. I have an example actually with regards to what Ruth just said, with regards to basically forming associations or groups. I remember in high school, we were 3 ladies, myself, Kadi, and Aminata. So we had different type of people in that group. Aminata was kind of the shy person, like Khadija just said. She will not be able to speak up for herself unless she's with us. And I was there the whole time, talkative, like type of, I would throw punches at you even though I would not, but you get.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then Kadi was just the cool one. When it's time to fight, I'll fight, but when it's time to talk, I'll just leave it to Doris. So sometimes, especially for you guys, we're now in uni, so university, you don't really have the whole fight thing, or can you hear? Everybody is grown, everybody has things to do. But in high school, in junior school, you would find a lot of people like that. And it's always important for you to know, like Khadija, to know the people that you associate yourself with. You know that you're kind of shy, you will not be able to talk when you're around, or when it's just you alone, rather. So you can find somebody like Tida that you know that, okay, Tida can talk, and Tida would fight for me. So it's always important as ladies to have an association or a friend group that you can rely on, and you would all support yourselves. And not just with the fighting and the talking, but with learning as well, studies and all of that. Yeah. So yeah.
So talking about school, I just remembered a perfect example. There was this one time that I stood up for myself, I would say. So, you know, from primary 1 to primary 6, I must always be assistant class prefect. I'm saying assistant class prefect because it's always a boy that gets the chance to be a class prefect, but it never really, you know, made meaning in my head or anything. So I just said, I mean, that's the rule, that's the school's rule or whatever. So when we got to high school, and then I began to be technical, that's when I was thinking, why is it that I'm always assistant class prefect when I know I have the capacity to be a class prefect, right? So I remember in Form 2, we were now about to do elections on who will be the class prefect, and I stood for class prefect, which was weird. So that's when my lecturer, I'm saying lecturer, that's when my teacher said that, but you know that it's supposed to be a guy that will be a class prefect, and then you'll be an assistant class prefect. That's when I asked why.
Exactly.
You're a girl.
Oh, wow.
That was, and he was so straightforward. It's not as if he was trying to make it look cute or anything, no. He was so straightforward. Wow. And that's when I remember I was so small, going to the principal's office saying, no, I'm not gonna take this, I'll call my dad, this is not fair. Yep. You know, that's when I stood up for myself in that instance. And guess what? I got to be class prefect because the boys in my class did not even want to be class prefect, if we were being honest, right? So, and I believe that really paved a way for many other young girls that were coming in and wanted to hold leadership positions in that school. Yeah. Because when you stand up for yourself, you don't only speak for yourself, but you speak to many more girls that are in that situation or might find themselves, you know, in that situation. Yeah. So moving forward, we've talked about instances in which girls, you know, stand up for themselves, but I feel like the discrimination we face in society as girls really affects us individually, right, and affects our performances. So do you guys want to share anything on that?
I would say also with regards to the, you know, right now we just spoke about school and all of that due to the fact that mostly we're students here, all of us like that, are students. However, like, I would give this example. I believe somebody like me, who was raised in a family of just ladies, being able to stand up for myself from a very young age, I was given the right to be able to speak up with regards to things that I have to say, what happened at school. So the place or the background that you also come from also affects or impacts you in one way or the other with regards to how you stand up for yourself. If you're from a home or somewhere wherein you cannot always speak up, it's always a thing of you want to say something and they're like, yo, no, you're halenga, mulo wafi. If it's something like that, it's not a thing of you're always now quiet. Even when you go to school or when you're outside, you see people, you're like, ah, man halela, so I will not speak. But it's not meant to be like that. So I believe our parents, you guys should allow us sometimes to chip in one or two things, allow us to be able to speak out when it comes to, because it helps. You might not actually know that it helps until we now go to schools and interact with our friends and other people. That's when you actually realize that, wow, this is what is going on.
True.
But yeah.
So I really want to come in there about what you are saying. So like sometimes it's also really important to know the friends you move with. So like sometimes as girls or something like that, as girls I would say, like some girls don't want to move with other girls because of they have some problems getting along or things like that. Some of us just want to be friends with some boys. Like if the vibes meet, you want to be friends.
The vibes, come
on. So like sometimes if you are to reach out to your girlfriends and you tell them, this guy is my friend or something, or they see you going with that person, they will start to discriminate you, like telling you, you shouldn't be going with boys, this, boys that, boys that. It's not like if you know that those type of people are harmful, we know that some boys are harmful, but it's not all of them. So like the harmful ones, you yourself, you know that they are harmful, you try to stay away from them. But the ones who will bring a lot of impact to your life, you try to stay close with them. They will help you with your studies. They will help to stand up for you when you cannot stand up for yourselves. Like, just like what you said, some are shy, some they can only talk, some can fight. So boys, mostly for them, fighting is their way. They don't like just talking Yamado.
They don't even talk. That's
yes, that's the fact. So like sometimes if someone comes close to you and tries to abuse you in front of them, if you have that brotherhood connection with your friends who are boys, sometimes they do step in to try and help you. So I'm telling my fellow girls that you don't only have to be friends with girls because they are girls. You can also be friends with boys, but be friends with the harmless ones. So be friends with the harmless one who you know that they are going to bring impact to your life. So
but
that's
I have
also
a question
important.
though. How do you know who's the harmless one?
So like sometimes it really shows, like if you are in class, there are some boys who are always the backbenchers. I'm not saying all of them are bad there. I'm not saying all are bad there. But most of them are bad. So some of them you see the smart ones, very serious ones, who will be sitting in front. So like sometimes if you have problems with subjects like maths or something like that, you can go to them and seek help from them. And sometimes you see by the way they perform in class, the way they move with other people, how they speak to people, you yourself, you can know that these people, this one is a harmless boy. So
The trend towards just like, I guess we all face it, or one way or the other we might have said it in high school, one way or the other. We keep on telling ourselves that sometimes it's even better and easier to associate with boys.
Then very
and also it's easier to associate with them, even though sometimes they might be slow to the way they might be slow to relate, but then it's sometimes, I mean, there's no harm in trying. I mean, when you get to sit with them and you were saying having that brotherhood connection, and when you get to know that sometimes we even relate better than yourself so-called fellow does.
In line with what Doris said, when you mentioned the fact that your background or where you were raised really has an impact on how you eventually are productive in society, you know, in the future. So I feel like that makes sense that it affects our mental health. You become a person with a low self-esteem, you know, when you're discriminated growing up, and then it really affects how productive you can be, and sometimes hinders you from reaching your full potential, right, as a person. So now, we've talked and talked and talked. Now let's try to bring solutions that might help, you know, in minimizing the way we are discriminated in society, and also just more ways to stand up for ourselves, you know, in addition to the support group that Ruth had mentioned earlier. So what are other ways that we think we can really try to bridge the gap when it comes to standing up for ourselves and not being, because there's this saying that, oh, when you're standing up for yourself, you're being rude, or people term it as rude. As long as you say, I don't want this, dangareo, exactly. And here we know the country, especially where we're from, you know, it's really quick to call someone rude or rare when they're really just pouring out their heart to you, right? Yeah. So what are some ways that we can, you know, tackle this issue as young ladies that we're here right now?
I think a way in which we can tackle this problem is also, just creating mentorship programs for girls. Connecting young girls, young ladies, or people you see facing all this that don't have the boldness to stand up for themselves. Yeah. Connecting them with role models. This, as I was saying, this mentorship programs, organizing them, connecting young girls with role models that you know that, okay, they passed through this, people that you know that, okay, had this experience and are not somewhere. Just creating programs like that, connecting them to those programs where they can help guide these girls. I will speak to them, giving them points one way or the other. Yes, I think that's one way we can have to just speak it to them.
I have one. One is awareness campaigns, wherein young girls would be educated on how to be able to stand up for themselves. So things like workshops would be organized, discussion panels, where we have places that I think do this. Yeah, yes. Women that do this. So we can basically have that more, so that young girls like us, we would go and learn from older people who have gone through this, or in one way or the other have knowledge about all of these things. So yes.
So another one is creating help centers for girls. It's kind of like what you just said about creating safe space. So like if there's a help center for girls wherein if you go through any abuse or you're not feeling well, your mental health seems to have a problem, there are specific people for you to reach out, people who will not discriminate you, people who will find solutions, who will help you to find solutions for yourself, and like they will bring impact.
Yes, that's also a good point. Do you guys have anything to say?
And another point with such and I saw is engaging men as well. It doesn't also have to be about us here. It's where and bring this men, try to make them play involved in this fight against harassment, wherein you speak to them about the importance of respect, the importance of respect and the way we treat women. So just engaging them, also speaking to them, so it shouldn't have to be all about videos and telling them that this, why it's important to the a lady, yes.
Yeah, yes. In addition to that, also aside from also educating the men, we should also educate, you know, the parents or parents today, should I say? Because we just don't face discrimination from men or the opposite gender, should I say? Sometimes it's your auntie or your uncle, your family members. In fact, exactly, as you're growing up, you already exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, educating, the masses, with these issues can be, so the educational seminar is okay. Yeah. And I also feel like in line with the educational, workshops or whatever, we should also try to tackle really the deep cultural beliefs that they have.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, we have traditions here that really affirm and justify most of the discriminations we face as girls. So also showing them that, times are changing. People are evolving.
Yeah.
Let's leave these cultures behind that are just causing harm and no good at all, right? So, yes, so I think those are some ways that we can really help fight, and help women stand up for themselves. And also, before we forget, no one mentioned this, but also teaching girls about their rights.
Oh, yeah.
Right, does anyone want to say anything on that?
Oh, okay, I have something to add up about this child abortion or anything abortion. Yeah. So when a girl have abortion with someone, they will take the blame on you. They will say that you should make it because what you wear was not proper done. Because they will be like, yolo sol bahut, pas yolo sol dafa gata sa fidi gena sa fili gena, deglo mo tagada flalul.
Imagine.
Yes.
That's true. And personally, I would add to that, just to say that I don't believe that. There's this scripture in the Bible that talks about how a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So it's not about what I'm wearing. I can literally dress up like this and I'm abused. And it's not because, what is here? You're not seeing anything. You're only seeing her face and her fingers and her toes. But I believe men and same own mindset, right? If your intention is to take advantage of me, no matter how I look like or no matter the way I'm dressed, you're still gonna do it.
If you are
So,
evil, you are evil.
sorry, you were saying?
If you are evil, you are evil.
Yeah, if you have that wicked mindset or the thing of the aim to actually say that, hey mom, by hook or crook, the ma definitely siki, it's gonna happen. So yeah.
Yep.
You should stop that.
So just to add to that, apart from the sexiness and whatever that they are trying to blame, okay, now tell me that a 6-year-old is sexy, that you are going to rape her. A 6-year-old with her long stockings and skirt and big t-shirt and nice clips.
Why?
It's sexy, right?
So innocent.
No. So it's just, you know, if you have a perverted mind, you have a perverted mind, period.
Right.
So now this is where we should really, really start and educate, you know, people on these things. It's not because a person is, control your eyes, right? About their rights, exactly, thank
The
you.
person shouldn't have done this if you didn't do this, like covering up for that person.
Exactly. So, because Doris just mentioned rights, now we just remembered, you know, we have so many like legal laws in the Gambia that are against discriminations and the likes, but most girls are not even aware of it. You'll see, you'll go through something, especially at home, maybe by your uncles or someone, but you wouldn't, you know that, oh, you actually have the right to go to the police station and have, you know, report the case, and then something will be done. Some people actually know that there are these laws, but then they don't go because they know that even our police, sutura, you guys know what sutura means, right? Yeah, you know, sutura, cover it up, that we're all family.
Just take it in and swallow
Exactly. Sometimes you go to the police and then they actually do nothing about it. So the laws aren't being enforced. They're not being implemented. So that's another, you know, action step to work on to actually make sure that we maybe try to communicate, because we can't do that. You know, we're just students, but try to see how we can, you know, reach out to these bodies that are able to, you know, try and help us enforce these laws to make sure they're being implemented.
And it's also women who do support these men in what they are doing.
Facts. Yeah, that's true. Can you say more on that? I don't think we got it. We all said it.
I should say the police never take action of that. Too. Is that what I want to say?
Yes.
With regards to what she said about guys being encouraged to do certain things, I'm a man of influence. So if I do something to a young girl, I can cover it up. Why? Because
They are women.
they are women. I know people, connection, money. Boy, I'm a bribe.
It's not even about connection sometimes, but like just as she said about the dress code and everything, some women will just say like it's because of what she's wearing that this man had to do this
and
to
blame
her.
it on you.
Yes, and blame it on you, and they will all start supporting the man whilst you are the victim.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because from childhood as a girl, you're being, you know, fashioned to believe that, you know, you're literally growing on shells.
Yeah.
Everything you do is your fault, right? So even if you grow up and now you're a woman and then you see these things, you know, happening to a girl child, because that's what you believe in yourself, that's what you've been made to believe, you also think it's right. Yeah. You also as a woman will now start to blame that little girl child, right? So this is where education, you know, really comes in. You have something?
For example, if the father raped the daughter, so when the father is a policeman, when the daughter go and report to the police that the father raped me, and when the police don't take any action of that, how can you do it?
That makes sense.
Where?
That's a tricky question right there.
So I believe we have organizations, social workers that that the girl can reach out to, you know, and then they will know where to move on from there, because that's a really critical situation, and I don't pray for anybody to be in that kind of, you know, situation. But then, like she said, reach out to social workers, and then they will help you.
Even in police station now, there are gender offices where, like, if you are a child, like Ministry of Gender and Children Social Welfare, they are having like their own office in the police stations. If it's a child-related issue, you guys can just go there and they will know how to help you from there.
Makes sense.
Okay, so now we've come to the end of our first topic, which is women standing up for themselves. And I personally have learned a lot. You know, we've really shed, you know, light on these issues that we go through as girls. So now coming back to the general public, you've heard us, right? You've heard what we, you know, have to say. We've talked about these issues. We've talked about the causes. We've talked about the effects, you know, it has on us. And like it or not, if it affects us, it affects society as a whole, you know. So to all the girls out there, try to speak up more. If you speak up for yourself, you're not only speaking up for yourself, but also the next girl, you know, beside you, or your younger ones that are growing up. Okay, so we'll be taking a quick break, and then, to go and have some refreshments. And then when we're back, we're going to be discussing another very crucial issue that we go through as girls, child marriage. So stay tuned and we'll be back. Welcome back, and now we get to discuss child marriage. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. So what is child marriage?
Child marriage is the union of two people or marriage between two individuals who are below the age of 18.
Well, not necessarily below, like two people. It can be, as in the one we have in Gambia. It can be an elderly person rather marrying a younger person, like hamna, pa ak hale. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Because we all know that anyone, just to say it out there, anyone below the age of 18 is considered a child and cannot give consent. So we know that, okay, child marriage is something that, it's not really allowed or legalized, here in the Gambia, because the child cannot give consent to that. So knowing this, then now we know that there are many causes or many things that emanate, many problems that emanate from, child marriage or early marriage. So what are some of these like causes, or problems that come from early marriage?
Taking a child for early marriage when she is still young may lead to loss of health, loss of care, unwanted pregnancy, and she may overburden with domestic work. And we should all know our rights. We all know that education is the key to success. And my fellow students, I want to tell you that we should think about our education and not our marriage.
Word. Yes. You were saying, Khadija?
Yeah. When a girl is taken for early marriage, she may not know how to keep her children, herself, and not even the home clean and healthy.
Yeah, makes so much sense, right? Because a child is a child, right? And a child cannot raise a child. Like you said, the person will not know how to take care of the child because the person is not experienced. What the person, as Rabia to say, should be thinking of, what the girl should be thinking of is how to go and pass, your exams, how to study and burn the midnight candle, right? Yeah. But now you find yourself sitting somewhere in a house that you're supposed to take care of, just as, a child. It's really not fair, to be honest. Yeah.
I believe another cause of child marriage is parents not having the knowledge about the consequences that they have named that the child would face. So imagine sending Khadija to be a wife at this age. Khadija, I don't know her age, but she's quite young. Like, Khadija cannot keep a home. She's not yet fully grown. She still has some growth to take place. So, yeah, exactly. She's still under parental care. So why exactly would I send Khadija to go and marry a guy that is 25 or 35? It does not really add up. So yeah, these are some of the consequences or the causes of child marriage. Parents not having the knowledge of the challenges that these kids would face.
So
yeah.
I want to talk about like some of the problems that lead to parents sending their children off for child marriage. Some of them, they claim it is poverty. But like as a parent, you know that if you have children, you have a responsibility to keep your children safe, giving them whatever they need and keeping in mind what is the best interest of the child. So like many parents blame it on poverty. No matter how poor you are, it's not like every day you wake up in the morning and there's not even a single penny in your purse or your pocket. You must have something that will actually help you to take care of your children. And even if you cannot take care of your children, I am sure that there are people that you can reach out to who will help you in making you raising your children much easier for you.
Word.
And the other one is parents saying that, like, this girl, she's my daughter, when she was growing up, she keeps on having boyfriends. She has, like, many of those sorts. She goes to nightclubs, she has boyfriends. So that girl is your daughter. So since when she was young, you should know that, like, you should be the one controlling her mind, paving the way for her to, like, delve into
more things that will help her.
Delve into legal things, not like these harmful things that will really deal with her, that has no impact to her lives. So like parents should stop putting the blame on, like saying she had a boyfriend, she goes to clubs and everything. You, the parent, should be there for that child, telling her that at this time you need to study, at this time you need to go to school. And at least if you are raising your child like that, it goes to a certain point that you don't even have to tell the child this is what you need to do. The child will know for herself that this is what I'm supposed to do. Because we all know that if you are under 18, you are a child, and at that time you are under your parents' control. So as long as you are under your parents' roof, they should be responsible for you. So that's what I have.
Word. Okay.
All right, so in relation, to that, it's also the parents, some of these cultural beliefs, as we had mentioned earlier, some parents really it's not because of poverty or because, the girl has a boyfriend and everything, but they actually pride in taking, their young girls to get married. It's actually an achievement for them. They get respected in society. She's not in the streets, So these are some of these cultural beliefs that we should really, try to just debunk and just take it out of the way, right? Because it really, really leads to a lot of different problems, not mentioning the economical dependence now. Because now you are married, you did not finish high school, you didn't finish uni, right?
Junior school, so maybe
you didn't finish. How are you supposed to find work? In fact, you're not even allowed to work in the first place. No? Now you are now feeling like a burden to your husband, So these are a lot of things that take place. So moving on, we're going to move on to some of these things that, some of the progress that have been made or we have seen, in our country so far on, trying to tackle, the issue of early marriage. So do you have any idea?
I believe now girls are being more empowered about knowing the consequences, having knowledge about early marriage or child marriage, you want to call it. Girls are being more educated about it. They now know that, hey, before I get married, I want to have this degree, I want to make my own money, exactly, I want to be an independent lady, blah, blah, blah. So it's a thing of where we're now being educated. That's the key word there. We're now being educated. We now have the drive to keep learning more and not just to finish high school, I want a husband and I'll start giving birth to children that I cannot really cater for their needs. So it does not really make sense.
Oh yeah, it's a thing of now awareness. You see everyone on social media. I mean, we scroll every year through social media. A lot of people giving their own art to be a high standard value driven. Everyone is just giving in their own, whether they experience it or not. You just want to, I don't know how to put it, but that we use social media and DC, so it has been helping. Yeah.
Social media has been helping.
And also our education system. Like in school, sometimes your teacher will come to class and teach you. When he's done, he'll be advising you as a girl. If you are done with your school, you go to university, you have your own job, you'll be driving big cars, things like that. So they inspire you to even forget about all these things and be independent before you even get married.
Okay. In the generation we live in now, we all know that, okay, if you don't work and you can't lead like rules, so our own neighbors, our friends, role models, they inspire us to work hard instead of thinking of marriage, because we see, okay, different stories now where some women are treated this way or different yes, that this went on. Okay, she got married, she was being treated this way. So we are just inspired to because we are always, okay, after watching things like this, we're like, oh, I'm not going to be like this person. I don't want to depend on this person. So instead, I'm going to work and my own money now. I won't be dependent on anyone. So it's a thing of classroom. Even our parents now teaching us, schools, social media. So we just have help.
In your place of marriage, your home is not a military place wherein your husband will say this and you say, yes, sir, commando, I hear you, blah, blah, blah. It's not a thing of you're seeing young people, like she said, with regards to the social media place. You're seeing young people getting married and you're seeing they're born, somebody like, I'll give an example, somebody like Vicky James that I look up to so much. Like, exactly, her and Mr. Femi, you see how their relationship is going. By the time you see, you'll be like, oh, one day I want to have a marriage like that. A Christian-based marriage, blah, 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 somebody that I would love and somebody that would also love and respect me and all of that. Somebody I can easily communicate with, not that I'll be looking at you and I'm seeing you as my father. All I'm saying is, yes, papa, yes, daddy. Like, no, please, thank you, but okay.
So we all know you can't attain, these good things if you get married early to someone that's 70-something years old that's about to just pass away. So, sorry, Rabiatu and Khadijat, you guys are younger than us, and Doris had mentioned that, okay, now girls are becoming more aware, are becoming more goal-driven, you know, and you're really not thinking about getting married early. Do you think amongst your friends, you guys are having, you know, or do you have these conversations at all? No. You should really try and have.
No, she said
yes. You that said no, you should really have and try to have these conversations. You know, you're not talking about men. You're talking about, you know, trying to say no, your future, and saying no to early marriage, right?
And standing up for
But
yourself.
I have one question, right? So now that we are aware, like someone like me, my dad can't come and tell me that I'm getting married right now, and I don't want to, because I'm, you know, I'm old enough, I think. So if I say no, I don't want to get married, and my dad said no, or else leave my house, where do I go? And I'm pretty sure there are girls in these situations or will be in these situations. So do we have any support system like that in the Gambia where the, you know, that girl child can, you know, go to find support and stay there and actually have like real support, not that you will go there, you know, like, things like that, because some parents are actually really determined. If they say this is it, that's it, unless you leave their house.
That's really a big problem. It's really a big, because many of these many of these people, like the ones who will sometimes organize programs, things like that. I remember once raising a question like that, and the woman said that is a really big problem in the Gambia here. She said, like, if these survivors come forward, like, and tell you this is my problem, especially domestic violence survivors, they will come to you. My husband is doing this. He's not treating me well. So then they will like try and find a solution for that person, and many of those solutions are like for that woman to stay away from that man. But like they always say, how can that woman stay away from the man? Where else can she go? If you go to your parents' house, they will be telling you, if you don't get married, you are not going to stay here. And then your friends, that's another whole problem. So like they are saying that they can offer you support, like to speak to your husband and try to change his mind, and also to speak to you, for you to like feel like there's someone there for you, feel like the person is trying to help you, but there's no way of them saying there's a special place for you where you can go and live for the meantime. So that's really a problem. There aren't any special places where we can try and help survivors. So that's also a really big problem.
So we're starting, you know, to name the solutions that we should really, you know, focus on, and this can be part of it. Please, if you're out there and you have, you know, the capacity or the ability to help us, speak to the ones involved, right? Give us these spaces. Many people are seeing, you know, many girls or many women are thinking of where to go to, you know, they can't really leave their houses because they have nowhere to go. So if these places are being provided, not permanently, but at least a temporary stay, an okay place, right, a human being can live in, it will really be nice. I'm really glad that I got to have this amazing session with you guys. Do you guys have any last, you know, words to say before we wrap up?
All I have to say is, girl, focus on your education, go get that degree, and yeah, be independent.
So I have one last thing to say, and it's to all of the women and girls out there. Let us be support systems for each other. Let us try and support each other. Let nobody discriminate anybody because they have gone through something or because they are survivors. Let's just offer help, and if we cannot offer help, let's just leave the matter.
Yeah, and as she said, it can never be me, it can always be you one day.
Yeah.
So be supportive, right? I think that's my last
Never
word.
say
Do
never.
you have anything to say? You have anything to say, Rasi?
Never say never.
Never say never. Okay, so now that's it from us. That's it from the Barrier Breakers Corner. We hope to see you next time, and hopefully this was very educative. So we're gonna call out the theme's name at the count of 3. We all know what the theme is.
Yes.
Do we have any?
Yeah.
This. Okay.
Power.
1, 2, go. Accelerate action.